Now I'm on. Hey, good to see you. Good to see everyone today. Just want to look at you and bring in all of your beautiful energy. Just to join with the unique expression of God that you are. The unique expression of light in the world that you are. No one can do it like you. Everyone else is taken anyway, so just be yourself. Be your radiant self, just the way you are. We love you, we bless you, we see the light in you, and we accept you just the way you are. So today we're choosing love over fear. And in that, we are going to overcome all the effects of separation. You see it in the world. What are the effects of separation? Sadness, exactly. Sadness. Anger. Isolation. I got all these written down. Isolation. You guys are doing good. Poverty. I got that one here too. The other side of poverty, greed. Anger, frustration. War. Got that one here. War, violence. Hunger. That's an incredibly tragic form of separation. Letting your brothers and sisters go hungry. Are we happy with that state? Are we happy with when we think about what kind of feelings, what kind of emotions come up when you think about things like hunger, poverty? It's horrible. You get sad. You start feeling the effects of separation. So none of us are immune to the effects of separation. But we can overcome them by what? Extending our love. Exactly. Exactly. By choosing love instead of fear. Because the effects of separation are going to create an emotional response in your body and make you afraid. And when you act out of fear, what happens? You act in anger, frustration. All those things that bring us what we don't want. And we quite often say the words, "Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me." And then we go right out and respond the same old way, the same old habit of thinking and same old habits of emotion and projecting that fear back onto the world. We get angry. We get frustrated, and we are all of a sudden in the effects. We are gripped by the effects of separation. So today I want us to learn how to overcome that. To overcome the effects of separation by consciously choosing love over fear, consciously extending the truth that we know to others. Sacred love is all that you are. Blessed peace, that's what you are. Deepest joy, that's what you are. Extension of light, that's what you are. See past the illusion to the light of each and every individual. Don't wait for someone else to do it. Don't let your judgments get in the way. Don't allow for your past experiences to rule your present moment, your present state of mind and the emotions that you're feeling now. We're going to do a great forgiveness workshop next week, Lily and I. So I really encourage you all to stick around after service next week, because forgiveness is going to be the bridge that allows you to break the bonds of the past, your past experiences, your past traumas, your past judgments, all those things by which you have come into a habit of response to others. The spiritual response is not a default reaction from the past. It's a quiet response from the truth. And that's what we do when we choose love over fear. So let's look at how we can overcome these manifestations of fear and bring healing and balance back into our lives, and doing the one thing consistently and consciously choosing love over fear. That's the one thing that's going to change not only our experience of the world, but actually the world itself. In choosing love over fear, we're doing far more than we realize in bringing about the healing of humanity and the shift in consciousness that we need. We truly are the light of the world. It's not just something that we say and it feels good and it sounds good. Like Wes said, not just on Sunday morning, but every day. We live this truth and we extend this truth. And when we're choosing love, even the smallest act, we're doing far more than we realize in bringing about the healing of the separation. It's the single most powerful thing we can do in our life for ourselves. For we're saying that, yes, I had experiences in the past, and yes, they affected me in certain ways, but they don't define me. I learned from them, and I learned that I am a beautiful, magnificent child of God, that I am full of power and promise. And it's never too late to express and manifest that power and that promise. It's never too late. We're going to decide right here, right now, today, that that's what we're going to express. I've discovered that it doesn't happen overnight. I need to keep making that decision over and over again. And eventually, love will become your automatic response to every situation, every condition. Once you make it, you feel the effects of it, you want to do it again. And so you take the time to pray for others. A very simple formula is pray for others instead of talking about them. Oh, did you hear what Jack did last week? And blah, 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 blah. No, I didn't actually. I was too busy praying for him. I was too busy seeing his beautiful light and hearing the beautiful music that comes from his soul. That's what I see and hear. And so guess what? They've gotten better and better and better, haven't they? And we're not only blessing them, we're blessing all their audiences. All the weddings that they do, and all the clubs they play, and the restaurants, and every gig that they ever have, they're bringing this with them. Wow, isn't that cool? It's so great. You're bringing this, your experience of the love you feel here, with you wherever you go. Into the town council, into the council of churches, into the store across the street, when you go to the mall, Trader Joe's. Actually, on Sunday, if you go to Trader Joe's, it does look a lot like this. I love it. So eventually, love becomes your automatic response. And I'm not just talking about the airy-fairy, oh, I love everyone, and you don't really. But that you feel the emotion of anger and fear and whatever you're feeling, and you still go to that place where you extend the truth, the energy of love. Not just the words, but the energy of it. And for me, that is something that the Bible calls charity. You're giving of yourself, of your energy to the world. You're giving that which you have discovered. You're not attempting to hold on to it just for yourself and judge those that don't have it. Because if somebody else doesn't have it, guess what? You don't either. So, I often say, who needs Wayne Dyer when you got Tony Cryer? Well, I was wrong. I was wrong again. You know who needs Wayne Dyer? Tony Cryer. Because I'm reading some of his stuff, and this is a great story. I used to watch PBS with my mom, and we'd watch Deepak Chopra and Marianne Williamson, and Wayne Dyer came on, and my mom was transfixed. She just loved him, and she goes, "He's teaching a course in miracles. Isn't that what you teach?" I said, "Yes, I've been trying to teach you for years." She says, "Well, you should try teaching it like him." He's so calm and peaceful. His voice is so soft and quiet. And you jump around and scream and yell at me? How am I ever going to hear it like that? You have to be more peaceful and quiet, like Wayne Dyer. So we need each other. We all need everyone. You're a unique expression of God just the way you are. I told her I'm not going to change. She told me one time, "What about this guy, Deepak Chopra? He's very quiet too." I said, "I'm not really good at the Indian accent." You tend to believe anybody if they have an Indian accent, right? Whatever they're saying, "Oh, that sounds good. He's got 1 million followers. Where'd he come from? India." He actually came from New Jersey. He just has a good Indian accent. Anyway, Wayne Dyer has a very simple formula for choosing love over fear. It's stay grateful and stay on purpose. When you stay on purpose and refuse to be discouraged by fear, then you align with the infinite self. And that's where all the possibilities exist, in your infinite self. If you stay always reacting to fear, there aren't too many possibilities there. You keep getting the same results. Why do I keep having the same problems year after year? I did a podcast about this because I too experience the same problems every year. Usually in the fall, around my birthday, and when the seasons were changing, my life would start changing too, and I wouldn't be able to handle the changes. Because I was reacting out of fear, and I was reacting the same way. So even if it was different people and different circumstances, it was basically the same problem. I was reacting to life instead of the other way around. I was reacting to what was going on outside instead of responding to what's inside and extending that to my world. Instead of manifesting my world from the substance of pure love and divine law, I was reacting to the world I saw out there and created a cycle of the same kind of problems over and over again. And it didn't happen overnight. But eventually, one day I woke up and I said, it's different. It's changed. I've been consistently making a choice for love year after year after year, and now I do feel different. I feel completely different. Everything's working out for me in divine order all the time. My relationships work 100% of the time. Not 99, not 20%. No. I'm not settling for less than 100% of the time. People say, "Oh, that's Pollyanna. You can't do that." I'm doing it. Here I am. Do I experience the same things you do? Yes, I do. But I choose love over fear. Yes, I get afraid. Yes, I get angry. Yes, I get frustrated. Yes, I feel isolated at times. I cannot stand the idea that in this day and age there's still poverty and hunger and starvation and war and violence, and I can't stand it. But I've learned how to respond from spirit instead of reacting out of fear. That's the big shift, is coming from within, extending it out, instead of what's going on out there and reacting. Within, without. Not without, within. Because that's always going to drive you crazy. You're going to try to manipulate the universe. Right? There's a song about that Stowe Good they do. It comes from the Buddhist teaching, let go or be dragged. Right? Yeah. Yeah, thinking we are in control here is a bloody curse, they say. There's no need to hand crank the universe. You're trying to get it all to work according to your perceptions. The universe is unfolding in perfect divine order already. Yes? Okay, so I want to be like water. I want to go with the flow. I want to be the flow. I don't want to just go with the flow. I'm going to be the flow. So that's the self, where all possibilities exist. All the possibilities of our highest good, of our abundance and prosperity, of our wonderful relationships, of our really impacting the world in a positive way, all exists there, in that place, the infinite self. How do I get there? Well, I have to use all the spiritual tools that I've been given, and I have to practice it. I can't just sit on my laurels. I really have to practice. And that's where all the fun is. That's where the adventure is. Because often we sing that song, it's in the climb. It's not in the destination. It's not about getting there. It's enjoying the climb. And sometimes that climb feels like strenuous work. It feels like I've got to put a lot of energy into this. Great! Because you were born to put a lot of energy into creating a beautiful life for yourself and others. You were born to be the Christ. You were born to bring about healing and oneness. You were born to bring happiness into this world. And so whatever way that I can do that, that's what I'm going to do. Because that's coming from my infinite self. So we do get discouraged sometimes, but we have a great teaching from the Talmud, which is the ancient Jewish tradition. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Just do justly now. That's for you. Do what you need to do. Do what is yours to do. Do justly. You act justly. You act with compassion. I can do that. I can choose to act justly now. I can choose to love mercy now. That's forgiveness. Mercy. I'm going to give forgiveness. I can choose to forgive. It gives you great results, doesn't it? It releases you from the past. And it releases you from projecting the past into the future and experiencing more of the effects of separation. So I'm going to love mercy now. I'm going to walk humbly now. Because this is not coming from the ego. This is coming from the spirit, the infinite self. So I need to walk humbly and not take credit or try to take credit for the miracles, but give it to God. Let the infinite divine self that I am show up. When the ego tries to take credit for it, things go awfully wrong for you and for everyone else around you. So walk humbly now. And here's a really good statement. You're not obligated to complete the work, but neither are you free to abandon it. So, you might sometimes be frustrated that you're not seeing the results of your good works. You're not seeing the results of your prayer. You're not seeing the results of your spiritual practice. That's okay. You're not obligated to complete this work, but you are not free to abandon it. Because when you abandon it, you abandon yourself. You'll come back because truly you're going to feel a lot better when you choose love. So there's no way that we can lose. There's no way that we can go wrong. There's nothing we can do that is a mistake. As long as we stay aware of our path, aware of where the spiritual water is taking us. I want to be like water, and I want to go in that direction. And it will take you in that direction. It's really a lot easier than we think. It's so freeing and so simple to know that you are carried along by a divine mind. So, what would the decision for love look like? Could it look like listening to others instead of, constantly opposing their ideas, just waiting for their idea to end so you can give them yours? Maybe I would listen. Just listen to what you have to say. Be honest about how I feel about that. Showing empathy and compassion to others. Lily it's wonderful. She keeps telling me this thing she got from Brene Brown, which is, what is the most generous and kind hypothesis you can give towards that person right now? Yeah, what's the most generous and kind, your best guess, at the most generous and kind way of perceiving that person? What they're saying. So in any situation, you would say, what is the most generous thing I could do? Instead of saying, oh, they hate me. They always tell me I look bad. Or they never give us any money. Or all this stuff that could come into your mind. Boy, those neighbors are too loud. Or whatever it is. They're driving on the grass again. Or whatever it is. What's a more generous hypothesis? My first egoic reaction is they don't like us. They don't like me. Or whatever it might be. Yeah, and it's in there because you all do it. They're laughing about me. They're talking about me. Or they're posting this online. Or whatever that might be. But what's a more generous hypothesis? Yeah. And there's always, you don't know anyone's story. But it's generally not what you're thinking. Because if you're coming from a past trauma or a past experience that didn't feel good, and you're projecting that on someone else, you're not accepting them as they are. And I think the more generous thing is just to ask and listen. Oh, they are such nice people. When I actually stop and meet someone, all of my judgments seem to disappear. And it doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter what they've been doing or saying before that moment. In that moment that we come together, there's a holy encounter. And the Christ is meeting with the Christ. And I don't care who it is. The spark of divinity is in there. And I won't see it in myself unless I see it in them. So that's going to be our practice. From this day forward, to attempt to see the divine in each and every person, to see the light beyond our grievances, beyond our judgments, beyond our past, and beyond our fear. Because our fears are always coming from, I'm not enough. They're always coming from a place of separation, where I tend to perhaps compare myself to others. So if I'm doing that, if I'm in comparison, I can stop and I can choose. Here's a good one. What does this situation come to teach me? What does this person come to teach me? That's what I want to know. When I learn the lesson, I won't repeat it. Have you found that? Once you learn something, wow, you move forward. And so, what has this come to teach me? And in some of my friends, we get pretty deep with this. What has this divorce come to teach me? What has this cancer come to teach me? What has this financial difficulty come to teach me? What has this angry relative come to teach me? Or this angry driver? Or whatever it might be. What has this come to teach me? What am I to learn spiritually? What is the Spirit of the living God within me wanting me to know? That's forgiveness, and that's choosing love over fear. What does the universe want me to know in this situation? The Bible has a great quote, and I know that some of you don't like to go past 20 or 25 minutes, but you picked the wrong preacher if you think that. I'm not kidding, because I got a whole Bible verse here, and you read it at every wedding, and nobody ever really knows what it says. And it's about giving, and it's about choosing love over fear. And it's Corinthians 13:13. 1 Corinthians 13:13. And I'm going to do it really quick. Okay? Is that all right with you? It's okay with you guys? Yeah? Oh, good. All right. I'm in a friendly crowd today. I love it. Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and I have not charity, I become as a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. Now, the Bible is using the word charity to describe a form of love. It's an all-inclusive, and I would call it unconditional love. Charity can be substituted for the words unconditional love. I'm giving my love unconditionally despite the circumstances that are being shown to me. Otherwise, I'm just talking. I'm not actually loving. And that's the sounding brass. It's the one who talks a lot about the truth, but really doesn't want to extend that love. No, I have to not just speak with the tongues. Maybe I'm eloquent as a man, or maybe I can channel the angels. It doesn't matter. If I don't have love, none of that is actually having an effect in truth. And though I have the gift of prophecy, and I understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have faith that I can move mountains, if I don't have unconditional love, I'm not anything. It says I am nothing. So you can have all the powers of the ego, and you can have all the attributes of spirituality in the human being, but if you don't have love, unconditional love, which is charity, then you're actually nothing. Nothing at all. Isn't that amazing? He would actually say, I am nothing. I love that. Because you all go, I'm nothing. Yeah, it's the illusion. It's the separate self. And the separate self has no reality outside of the whole. Right? Is that true? Okay, thank you. I got one in the back in the cheap seats that says, yes, that's true. We got them back in the bleachers here. The mezzanine. Okay, so I could bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and I hope you do. Put some food out in the box in the foyer. And I give my body up to be burned, and if I have not charity, it's not going to profit me anything. For charity, unconditional love, suffers a long time. It's kind. Charity doesn't envy. I'm going to say unconditional love through this whole thing. Unconditional love does not envy. Doesn't wish it was somebody else. Oh, I wish I were having your experience. No. Unconditional love doesn't vaunt itself up. It doesn't glorify the ego. Unconditional love is not puffed up. Unconditional love does not behave unseemingly or seeketh her own, is not easily provoked, and thinks no evil. Ever. Unconditional love rejoices not in iniquity, but rejoices in the truth. So you're not trying to get vengeance upon anyone, even the political party you don't agree with. You're not trying to get vengeance on them. No. It only seeks the truth. Unconditional love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Can you get this? You're bearing all things. You're believing all things. You're listening and you're just taking things as they are. Oh, isn't that nice? I'm not trying to change reality. I'm just accepting it as it is. And it endures all things. Unconditional love never fails. This is why we're practicing choosing love. Whether there are prophecies, whether there are tongues, they're all going to fail. Whether there is knowledge, it will vanish away. For we know in part as human beings. We prophesy in part as human beings. But when that which is perfect has come back into our consciousness, then that which is in part shall be done away. When that which is perfect, whole, comes back into our consciousness, the separation vanishes. We no longer experience ourselves as separate from one another. I don't experience myself as separate from you anymore, because I accept myself as a perfect, whole creation of God. Isn't that awesome? Wow. When that which is perfect is come, that which is in part shall be done away. When I was a child, I spoke as a child, and I understood as a child, and I thought as a child. But when I became an adult, I put away the childish things, or my consciousness expanded. So when I thought I was separate, I acted out of separation. But now you know, and from today forward you know that you're one. Act from oneness. It's your choice. You put away, or you choose to act from wholeness and put away the toys of separation. For now, we see through a mirror or a glass darkly, but then when we know the truth, we'll see face to face. So I can only see you darkly in my perceptions born of fear. I'm not going to see the true you. I can't see past the illusion to the light. But when that which is perfect has come, and then when my consciousness has risen, and I'm aware, I'll see you face to face. Wow, Christ to Christ. I see you. Remember the Avatar? That was the big line in that movie. I see you. Oh, it's a great revelation when I actually do see you. When I see the Christ behind my own illusions. Last line. And now... Oh, wait. Almost last line. Okay. It says, for now we see through the glass darkly, but then we will see face to face. Now I know in part, but then I shall know even as I am known. Wow. So if I know the Christ dwells in me, I'm going to know it for you. I'm going to see it in you. So now abideth faith, hope, and unconditional love. These three. But the greatest of these is unconditional love. Charity. So I want you to go out this week and show charity to each and every person you meet. And especially the person you see in the mirror. Have great, unfailing, unconditional love for that one. You can do it. I know you can choose love over fear, because that's what I'm doing, and we're here together. So that's our mission together as a spiritual community, to keep choosing love over fear. We are having a great impact in our community, in the lives of each person sitting here, and in the world. So keep it up, guys. I love you, and we'll see you soon.
You have been watching the message from our Sunday celebration service here at Unity on Cape Cod, providing a positive path for spiritual living. Please join us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 147 Walton Ave, Hyannis, Mass., and visit us online at unityonCapeCod.org. This video was made possible in part through a grant from Unity Worldwide Ministries and the Templeton Foundation.